Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I am here to present a video talking about why I have no real interest in any of the quote-unquote anime reviewers, really. We're going to talk about this. Now, this is going to be something I'm sure a lot of people are going to disagree with, probably get upset about, because I expect an intelligent video, especially when someone wants to make a living off of YouTube, etc. And why do I have a problem with this? Well, let's get into the first aspect. Um, let's start off with something that completely explains where my problem is coming from. Okay, so one of the things you'll hear a lot of times is this show, especially if it's an American cartoon, they'll say this show is based off anime. Now,
So good of you to pop in.
Jerry, as your friend, I gotta tell
this
you,
is
your
a
jokes are
video
getting
from Saberspark, just talking about what the hell is Totally Spies. I'm not talking about most anything related to what he interpreted Totally Spies to be or whatever. I'm here talking about a simple definition.
seriously old.
It should be mentioned that the visual style of the show is heavily influenced by anime.
It's heavily influenced by anime. Anime is an abbreviation, truthfully, of animation. In no way does it look like Ghost in the Shell? Do I have to Google Ghost in the Shell to show you what Ghost in the Shell looks like if you don't know what it looks like? Because it does not look like Ghost in the Shell. It does not look like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It does not look like what other animation could I think of? It doesn't look like it doesn't look like video game animation. It doesn't look like the term anime is a abbreviation for animation. In no way, shape, or form should it, or really is it, owned by a region. It is not specifically designed, targeted towards Japanese content creators or the Japanese or anybody of Asian descent or whatever. Like, you don't own this term in a sense. However, I do understand the argument that's going to be presented is that in America, if people use a term enough and in a certain way and it becomes accepted, widely accepted, especially if majority says so, then this is how things go. Well, that's not just America. That's absolutely every single country, moron. That's how we do things. We make things up as we go along. That's kind of how things work. And it doesn't mean just because majority agrees, it's a smart decision. Because there are terms that are already exactly defining the things you're trying to say, which is one of the reasons I have a problem. I'll get into more of why I have a problem with anime reviewers making baseless accusations. Especially, my problem is if they're trying to sound like an educational or an intelligent reviewer, etc., or critiquer, or informant, whatever the case may be, you'll see some of the things that they say are baseless accusations that are some of the most dumb things you could basically say. Like, here again, it's based off anime. What anime? What is it based off of? This is such a generic term. It means absolutely nothing. If I looked at my mother and said, hey, this is based off anime, she'd have no idea what I'm talking about. If I said this is based off Tom and Jerry, she wouldn't. If this has similar animation to Tom and Jerry, Caillou, whatever the case may be, she would understand exactly what I'm trying to say. Is the animation, the animation style is similar to you say the word, the name of the show or whatever. Like, but this is heavily inspired by anime. Well, you see, if it wasn't an animated piece, it wouldn't be on television. You'd be reading a fucking book. You dumb cunt. Like, you have nothing intelligent to fucking say, truthfully, half the time, most of these people. And this is someone, Mother's Basement is guilty of this, Saberspark or whatever is guilty of this, Bennett the Sage is guilty of this, and it's fucking ridiculous. It's every single reviewer in every single medium that's trying to make money, basically. It's not just anime reviewers, it's absolutely every reviewer makes baseless accusations that are fucking dumb. I can't believe you're you have ads in this video. I can't believe you've monetized this video and you have these pieces like it's based off anime. Is it Tom and Jerry? Is it based off of Tom and Jerry style animation? It doesn't look like it. I know what Tom and Jerry looks like. I know what Ghost in the Shell looks like. And you know what? That's two forms of animation right there. And you know what? It doesn't look like anything like that. Anyway, let's get to the fucking point, because people like Saberspark have absolutely no idea what they're talking about, really. There's nothing educational or intelligent about these things. It takes 1 minute to do a fucking fact check, you know, like cartoon, a simple drawing showing the features of its subjects, and then also a cartoon strip, a narrative sequence, like a film using animation techniques to photograph a sequence of drawings rather than real people or objects. Like, let's look at animation. The technique of photographing successive drawings or positions of puppets or models to create an illusion of movement when the film. If it didn't have the illusion of movement, if Totally Spies didn't have the illusion of movement, guess what? It wouldn't be a fucking television show now, would it? Like, oh my fucking... It would be a book. You're a fucking idiot, truthfully, Saberspark. That sentence right there kills your whole video, because it's proof that you have no idea what you're talking about. You're an average schmuck who just profits off dumb morons. Disgusting. Let's get to Bennett the Sage, because Bennett the Sage said some really fucking retarded things during Teen Titans Trouble in Tokyo. Now, I have no problem with him not liking Trouble in Tokyo or whatever. That is completely fine. Totally understandable. I get it. I own the movie. It's alright. It's not really that good. It was there. That's all I can say, really. I agree with them, but that's not even relevant. You know what? He compared Teen Titans to Teen Titans Go and made the accusation that these shows are basically the same thing. They are not the same thing. Teen Titans primarily focuses, basically sole focus is comedy. Teen Titans was not just about teens trying to defeat supervillains or whatever, the villain of the day. It was also about teenagers trying to be out in the world, living with other friends and so forth, like in a dorm in a sense, like in college, and trying to deal with those people, and trying to make things work with them. It wasn't the be-all, end-all. But the truth is, it obviously had some a little bit mature themes as well, but when you're comparing it to Teen Titans Go, these shows are nothing alike, Bennett the Sage. You're a fucking baseless moron. I don't want to go into
it's a good
it, but
thing for
really
the Titans that Inspector Zenigata here arrives with his squadron of troopers to stop the monster. That's right, it finally happened. In some cases. Honestly, it's not that much of a stretch to go from Titans to Titans Go. In some cases. If you ask me...
they're entirely different shows trying to do entirely two different things. Just because the characters' names are the same doesn't mean you could take out every aspect of the show, basically. Ignore every fucking part of the show in order to make your opinion or statement seem more fucking factual. You're not. The shows are not the same. They focus on... Teen Titans had themes and such. Again, living with people, dealing with work problems and everything. Yeah, we everyday humans don't have to deal with super villains, obviously, at work. But again, crime fighting, etc. If you're interested in these kinds of things, if the show's aimed for teenagers, dude, or young people in general, not people with mature understandings of reality. Otherwise, you wouldn't benefit from these kinds of shows anyway. And if they're if they're trying to do like 12-year-old things, people who don't even pay bills, etc., they're not gonna understand the reality of things. Like when you get older, like they're not gonna have the same conscious understanding that an adult would. So these shows can't really go to adult levels because it's not going to do anything for adults. Adults should have this information already, so these... wow, because he's complaining that the Teen Titans Trouble in Tokyo is so silly, and, the show is so silly even to a degree. Yeah, it's silly, but again, you really think that they're going to put like, they're gonna make a show for 14-year-old kids and then try to show adults how to properly live and, teach adults things that should already have these like, I don't, what, Bennett, to say, you're so far off from a fair and accurate representation of Teen Titans, especially. I mean, you don't even have to like the show. I mean, you talk about it being, it's anime, etc. Well, fucking of course it's anime. Of course it's anime. It's on television. If it was static images, it would be boring to children, you dumb fuck. Like, I don't understand. I can't stand most of these things. Like, Mother's Basement did the same thing when he sits there, he watches Full Metal Alchemist movie, live action movie, and then he bitches like it's a live action show taking animation and like blah blah blah, it's gonna be bad. Like, I don't understand why you wasted your time. An animated face can do so much compared to a live action face. You would have to CG the face to do the similar facial actions. Like, say if the live action was going to be the first one, you would have to CG the face to have those kinds of water bubbles coming down their head, like in Japanese cartoons or even American cartoons. They do the same thing. The reason why I even said anime when I was younger, is because I didn't want to go around telling people that, hey, yeah, I watch a Japanese cartoon, for 13-year-olds when I was in high school or whatever, Naruto, etc. Anime sounded much more fucking mature. The truth is, it's still a Japanese cartoon for children. Especially the best part about explaining it's a Japanese cartoon for children. It explains everything about the show, basically. You understand it's a show for children. You understand it's Japanese. You understand the cultural differences right there. You're not going to get confused with it's an Eastern animation. Well, is that Indian? Is that Russian? No, it's Japanese. You already understand the cultural differences from your country, potentially. Like, it's much... Anime is video game animation. It's any animation you want it to be. Anime is an abbreviation for animation. It is not an intelligent term. It is a fucking short form to make things more convenient. Stop making Japanese people be like the be-all end-all, like they've created their own goddamn thing. No, they didn't. We would have created it eventually if they hadn't. You act like they're the fucking be-all end-all. Like, everybody. If one person didn't create peanut butter, another person would have. You're not special. They're not special. Stop acting like they are. Stop acting like their media forms are special. They deserve a special term. Because Japan views things different. It's not a cartoon for children because they think children when you're 13 are more mature than we do or what. That's not our fucking problem. It's a Japanese cartoon for children. We are different. We should express things properly with our language intact, not change things for the convenience or because of, again, like when I was younger, I didn't want to say I was watching a Japanese cartoon. I was watching an anime. It sounded cooler. It sounded more mature. But I grew the fuck up and started to realize it's not the appropriate term. Anime is, yeah, again, if America wants to make that term an official term in the dictionary, etc., they can do that. Everybody can do that if they want. Every country can do that. That has nothing to do with America. The reason we have terms is so we can clearly and accurately express our thoughts and opinions. Again, when you heard him say Totally Spies is based off anime, that's the broadest, it's based off Japanese animation. What does that mean? Japanese cartoons? Japanese video games? Japanese CG? What? I know exactly what you're saying because I'm intelligent, but here's the thing. I would take the time to try to properly and accurately and as best describe the words I can because that's what my job would be, not to half-ass it. And that's every fucking YouTuber. Sorry, it's every fucking reviewer in video games. Oh, you don't like It's all about fucking convenience. They'll talk about this, they won't talk about that because, oh, I don't play that, it's not my problem, you know? Like, oh, yeah, that's fine, let another AAA title, you know, set the fucking industry standard. And then when it bleeds into your game, you'll then get upset or whatever. You know, whatever the case. Dude, we're all in this shit together. It's anime. Bring us, it's animation, dude. It's just that. It's just one fucking, it's the same term. Bring us all together. It's animation. Japanese cartoons, Indonesian cartoons. Let's fucking just say the term that it, say where it's from so people know the cultural differences right away. If you hadn't known, like, it's a Japanese cartoon, etc., you would understand maybe, like, Jinx. Again, someone that would know better, that knows the Japanese culture better than me when I was younger especially, may not look at Jinx as a racist figure or whatever, you know? They may, because they understand, oh, this is a Japanese cartoon, not an American cartoon, not, you know, they clearly understand where it's from, they understand, oh, I know why Japan has, you know, blah, 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 and then I would be told that, blah, 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 it would make sense. Nobody would get offended in this one, because we'd understand it's from Japanese culture before, basically. Yeah, you thought it was from Japanese culture, but especially nowadays, it's very hard to tell. Use the simplest term. It's Japanese cartoons. It's Japanese animation. Is it really that fucking hard? Is it really that big of a fucking problem where you can't say Japanese animation because it takes so much time in your life you'll not be able to do your little Fortnite or watch your little Naruto, your 1,000 plus episodes of One Piece and Naruto and shit? Like, are you afraid saying animation is taking up so much of your time you can't get through all the things you want to do in life? You'll never get to do all the things you want to do in life anyway. Start sounding fucking intelligent, people. I'm sick of hearing every fucking reviewer half-ass every goddamn thing. This is why I don't present things, because I would take forever to do what I would want to do. I would try to meticulously perfect every little thing I could, and that's fucking unreasonable, truthfully. I do understand that. But at the same time, if my job is to educate or whatever, I am going to do the best I can. Money is a physical resource that costs time to make. It is incredibly, exceptionally expensive. It will, I don't even want to get into the concepts of these things because people don't fucking understand them. But anyway, that's my opinions. I know people are going to think I'm probably a raging lunatic, truthfully. I think it's boring. Your videos are boring, truthfully. Watching Saber Spark, it's based off animation. Do you know what animation it was based off of? That would have been nice to know if they watched the show and like, hey, I really enjoy, again, Ghost in the Shell's animation. I loved Ghost in the Shell's animation. If I could draw that, I would. But I wouldn't say it's based off anime. I wouldn't say my drawings are based off anime. I would say it's based off Ghost in the Shell. Holy fuck, it's that simple, Saber Spark. You clearly don't know what you're talking about with the research you did, or maybe you didn't do any research. Like, you're not a fucking authoritarian. None of us are on these kinds of things. Like, it's a waste. I don't understand why you're paying people. Why you pay people money? I don't understand. I don't have no right to even ask for money, in my opinion. Like, I'm not worth the money to just say an opinion. Like, I don't know. I sound like a raging lunatic. I apologize. I hope you appreciate the video. I hope you understand where I'm coming from. I'm not trying to say I hate Bennett the Sage's videos. I think Bennett the Sage has made some fantastic pieces. And again, even Saber Spark, some of his opinions and, you know, the discussions he brings up from his opinions are really cool and really engaging or interesting and whatever the case may be. But some of the, like, when they're pretending to be like educational speakers or whatever, or, you know, like, know it, like, I don't know, I don't even know, I'd have to look at the term better. Like, I don't want to say authoritarian because that's not what they're trying to be, but I mean, they're trying to present themselves as an educated or, you know, like someone, an illuminated and enlightened person, and they have no fucking idea what they're talking about, basically. I mean, they're so fucking, you're still using a term that I used when I was a child in high school, basically, an immature, ignorant, dumbass child. I don't understand how you didn't grow the fuck up and used proper terms when it does matter. Me, it doesn't matter. I'm not getting paid for this shit. I'm not acting. I'm not asking for fucking money and all that kind of shit. I'm not asking for resource, in a sense, for opinions or whatever the case may be. This is all free. It's all just opinion. People can correct me and I'll correct it after. And, you know, like, that's the beauty of what I'm doing. But what everybody else doing physically costs resource. It costs time. It costs time. It costs physical time to make that money and everything. And you're printing shit out that is not, that's, hey, I like this video game. Sometimes people don't even have a reason to like the game. It's even more embarrassing than that. They're not allowed to say their opinions. You can't hate something because they're annoying or they're stupid or whatever. You know, you can't be offensive like that in certain aspects. You upset people in a sense. I'm not saying fucking something stupid. I'm not saying obviously something literally like, you wouldn't be racist. That would be ignorant, obviously. Like, you can't be like, oh well, I hate this character because all these people are horrible people. That's stupid. It's a cartoon character. Like, none of that shit would be rational, except like, so I mean, like, none of those things apply in the rational world. When you're talking about people, especially in comment sections flipping about stupid stuff, you have no idea if they're being right, if they're being real, or whatever the case may be. It's a comment that does not impact your personal life, whatever. It means absolutely nothing. But I mean, again, these people do impact our lives. They are economically being paid for these things. Money has to be printed for their thoughts and opinions. That is a fucking costly economic system. Do you really think the world economy can afford that kind of shit? I don't think it can. But I'm considering the entire reality and not just my reality, because my reality would be a lot different, and I don't have the right to push my reality on everybody. But I think it makes more sense to consider everybody's reality. Like, I try to, but it's, I don't know, it's basically this way or no way. And I don't know, it's so fucking hard to explain. I don't like this shit. It's boring. Every fucking YouTube video basically is boring. Every reviewer, everybody who's sitting there saying, you know, like, I'd hate to say Jim Sterling, who pretends to fight the bad business practice of fucking, you know, the gaming industry, even though he ignores half of it. You know, half of it's completely acceptable. I know he doesn't have all the time in the world, and he doesn't have to want to spend all of his time. He should definitely make the most. I mean, it's very simple to just add a fucking word, like, it's very easy to add a three words or 5 words or whatever to reinforce your like opinions or statements, etc. more. He doesn't do that. He goes for the bare fucking minimal half the time. It's absolutely fucking boring to watch. And just to hear him say, oh, I'm obsessed with myself. I get his shtick. But it's not funny 50 billion videos. And if you want to kill a joke, repeat it all the fucking time. That's basically all these people do. They just catapult their fucking propaganda until you believe they're fucking shit. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. It's so fucking embarrassing. I don't know. I'm bored. I'm bored of all of these fucking people. I hope you understand where I'm coming from. I'm not trying to rage at the world, obviously, or nothing. I've literally been at the stage again. I enjoy videos from these people, but I don't think, again, when you're making statements like it's based off anime, I don't think those statements are worth monetary value. I think you are basically robbing the industry. You are basically robbing our economic stability. You're a fucking idiot. But I know most people will be like, dude, that's the way the world works. Yeah, that's the way the world works. Then you have economy crashes, and then people go to concentration camps to work off the debt we owe to bankers. Like, are you fucking stupid? Stop giving them the ability to do this crap. Fuck. That's another story. I don't even have time for that shit, though. No, I'm not a flat fucking earther or a spherical earther. Those are both fucking retarded concepts. the universe could be spherical, meaning if the critical density and mass density is not even, etc., the universe would, again, the Big Bang, and then it would collapse in on itself. If the critical density and mass density is virtually even, you would have an infinite universe that would always exist, meaning there was no Big Bang theory, because if the laws of physics dictate, there has to be a controlling authoritarian or a controlling thing, which would basically mean gravity. All laws of physics would have to exist. If the Big Bang wasn't, like, before the Big Bang, there was no physics, so absolutely nothing would happen. There would be no energy, etc. Nothing would make sense. The universe always has to exist. Your entire idea of, all-powerful G-force creating the universe is fucking retarded, every one of you. Like, you just believe anything the government will say. I'm not saying weight, momentum, electromagnetism. I think it's electromagnetism. No, that doesn't sound right. I'm sorry. It's 6:54 in the morning. I should be asleep. I have shit to do in the morning. But you know what? I just couldn't sleep, actually, to be honest. But you're probably going to call me a conspiracy theorist. I'm a tinfoil hat at the end of this, especially. Dude, you went to the moon in a ship, in a shuttle that had tinfoil wrapped all over it. Dude, you believe fucking anything your government god will tell you. I don't fucking care what you think. You're stupid. You have no scientific... You have zero proof of gravitational waves. Your all-powerful G-force is a fraud. But you've gone to the moon. That would prove that gravitons and gravitational waves exist. That would be a circumstantial evidence. I don't have time for this kind of shit. I don't have fucking... This is why you're fucking anime and shit. There's so much to reality. I don't want to talk about it, but it's not just one small fucking thing, okay? This shit. Things, Saberspar, none of these things are worth money, in my opinion. None of my ideas, thoughts, or opinions are worth someone paying me directly. Especially when I can repeatedly, constantly create opinions, etc. through YouTube and blah blah blah. And these opinions may not be good, whatever. You get paid basically as long as people click on the video. That doesn't mean you're intelligent. That doesn't mean people agree. That doesn't mean you're smart or whatever. You get paid as people click. Not after people decide if it's good, if it's right, if it's whatever. No, you get paid before there's any proof or whatever. It's a fucking flawed system from the get-go. I hate it. It's garbage, truthfully. It just screams economic instability. It's beautiful. I love it, apparently, I guess. Why not? Economy collapse is all fun and games, right? This is the way the world works, I guess. Fucking let's just suck government god's dick, shall we? I'm out, dude. I don't have time for this shit. I'm sorry this has turned out to be a longer video than it should have been, because I've wanted to clearly get off this video for a while now. Especially because I don't know how to describe most of the things I have a problem with. I've been doing so much goddamn research, and I still don't have what I want because I need more research. So that's why I don't have any analytical pieces up right now, because it's research. I find one thing and then it leads into another, then it goes into another and another and another and another and another, and it doesn't stop. So I'm sorry. This is probably going to be one of the craziest sounding videos, but again, I find this shit to be absolutely boring, and I highly doubt that Bennett the Sage or anybody would sit there and be like, no, I understand where he's coming from. You're probably sitting there like, I don't give a fuck, I'm making money off this, and or you're probably an idiot because you're disagreeing with every single government god in the world, because not one single government wants to say that the universe could have always existed, because not even the Vatican wants to say that. The Vatican is now telling you have to believe in a Big Bang in order to believe in God. Not even the Vatican is telling you, yes, the universe could be infinite. Not one government is questioning this thing. Not one country believes differently, because you have an $18 billion taxpayer organization thing that is constantly generating revenue because of fucking an opinion, a belief. It's fucking ridiculous, truthfully. This is why in America it's in God we trust. It's a fucking disgusting mentality. But nobody wants to believe they're religious. I didn't want to believe I was religious. I didn't want to believe that I was manipulated, convinced. But I don't want to get into any of this. I fucking said enough.